Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're unpacking a genuinely cinematic corporate mystery. And it proves that the most dangerous workplace lies, they rarely look like those dramatic movie-style boardroom explosions. Actually, scratch that. They usually look exactly like boring, standard administrative paperwork. We're going to explore this fascinating case of an office navigating the fallout of a massive scandal, and we'll see how the ultimate test of their cultural repair comes down to just one missing section in a highly anticipated document.
Okay, let's dive into this. Picture this: the final independent report has just landed on the desk. This is the document that's supposed to signal a fresh start for the company. Putting an end to the hidden folders, the fake KPIs, the mysteriously deleted invites. Now, the document itself doesn't look like a threat. It just looks like everyday admin. But as strategy lead Maya Carter brilliantly points out, the real dangers hide in plain sight. There's this quiet, palpable unease spreading through the office right now because something absolutely vital is completely missing from this report.
Section 1. The danger of closure. How cover-ups hide in plain sight.
And this brilliantly illustrates the classic trap the company is facing right now. Executive Victor Hale and his allies are using that polished, soft language we've all heard a million times. They're calling for a healing period and business continuity. Sounds incredibly reasonable, right? Just classic corporate speak. But let's look at what they actually mean. They want a clean ending. They want to cover up the history. These executives are pushing hard for closure without actually documenting what went wrong in the first place.
So what exactly was missing from that report? A section literally titled Memory Controls. Basically, memory controls are systems designed to make sure a company actually remembers its past mistakes. They are the exact mechanisms that protect the next quiet employee from those same toxic patterns cropping back up. See, toxic leaders absolutely want a clean ending where everything is just erased. But employees, they desperately need this systemic proof to know that the old habits of, forgetting on purpose are truly over.
Section 2. Reading the background record. Following the digital footprints.
Maya knows that when an official explanation arrives a little too smoothly, you don't waste time arguing with loud opinions. You test the story. So she puts together this brilliant team of investigators. We've got Aisha bringing fresh eyes, Nina diving deep into the background records, Jordan handling the complex IT system logs, and Maya herself leading the strategy to map every single action directly back to an owner.
Take Aisha, the new analyst. I absolutely love this quote. I am new enough to still read the parts everyone calls standard. While the senior folks have essentially trained themselves on where not to look, Aisha is in there checking the metadata. She exposes these simple timeline mismatches that everyone else just completely glazed over. She's proving the sheer power of just paying attention to the small print.
Then we have Nina, the executive assistant. She knows a fundamental truth about office life. People trying to hide things always leave a trail of mundane details. We're talking calendar exports, badge scanner logs, printer queues. She knows that hidden background work still leaves a very clear foreground record. Those boring everyday details, that is exactly where the truth lives.
Section 3. Mapping the evidence. Bypassing the noise.
Maya absolutely refuses to chase people down hallways or get into shouting matches. As she points out right here, we do not need louder opinions. We need a clean path from action to owner. She's relying entirely on synthesizing all these scattered little clues into a mechanical proof map. She just constantly asks 3 questions: what changed, who changed it, and who benefits.
Let's move to and see how this builds into an undeniable sequence of events. IT specialist Jordan takes all those digital footprints and lays them out perfectly. 1 minute, an action is logged on a file. 1 hour later, it's quietly approved. 1 day later, executives realize the benefit. Jordan translates the digital system into cold, hard facts, basically declaring, hey, this is not suspicion, this is sequence.
The record did not raise its voice. It simply waited for someone patient enough to read it. Wow. Think about the power of that for a second. In a toxic environment that's completely full of manipulative office politics, cold, hard data is your absolute strongest shield.
All right, Section 4. The boardroom showdown. When the truth enters the room.
So the crucial point is how toxic environments disguise immense pressure as polite career advice. Executive Victor Hale tries to gently warn Maya off. He calls her investigation a narrative risk that might cause instability. Look at how he phrases it. You have already won. Be careful not to turn victory into damage. But Maya's response cuts right through all that manipulation. She simply says,
Truth is not damage. Hiding it was.
And Maya's definitely not alone in this. HR manager Linda Park signals a massive shift in the company culture right there in the boardroom by stating, "Procedure is not a hiding place, not anymore." Linda makes it crystal clear that the old theatrical meetings, the ones where leaders soften their verbs and ask everyone to think about the optics, those days are totally over. Procedure can't be weaponized as a shield from misconduct anymore.
And then the avalanche begins. Maya systematically lays out every single lesson from 001 to 059. It is this rapid-fire sequence of undeniable proof. We're talking hidden folders, silent group chats, deleted calendar invites, red-lit badge scans. She strips away every single comfortable excuse they have, and the entire room just completely freezes.
With the inescapable weight of their own records crushing down on them, Maya delivers a literal mic drop moment. I am not asking you to trust me. I am asking you to trust the record you created. It's so brilliant because she doesn't make it personal. She isn't emotional. She's just reflecting their exact actions directly back at them.
Section 5. Designing institutional memory. Repair written into the system.
This revelation lands perfectly with independent board member Elise Warren. Elise looks at those missing memory controls, which, remember, originally just looked like some minor administrative typo, and she realizes it was an intentional design meant to erase the story. She hits them with the ultimate question. If this was harmless, why did it need to be hidden? Because true closure without memory, that's really just a new cover page for the exact same problems.
Maya completely refuses a quiet, sweep it under the rug kind of fix. The strongest ending to the scandal isn't just pointing a finger at one villain and moving on. It's about building a robust system where the truth doesn't require a hero to step up every single time. As she so profoundly puts it, do not quietly fix what can publicly teach.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing the visible, concrete corrective steps the company takes to actually protect its people. Step 1, Elise officially signs those memory controls into effect. Step 2, Maya steps up into a formal accountability role to oversee the whole process. And Step 3, the office archive becomes fully visible to all employees. They aren't just saying we're sorry. They are literally re-engineering the system to make the next lie so much harder to pull off.
And this brings us to the real emotional weight of institutional memory. A workplace heals when it stops asking quiet people to carry the truth alone. Cultural repair isn't about perfectly crafted executive emails that promise a fresh start. It's about implementing real controls so the heavy burden of honesty is built directly into the framework of the company itself.
So, I want to leave you with this final, vital question to chew on for your own professional lives. When your company promises a fresh start, do they actually fix the system, or do they just delete the history? Remember, the record is always waiting. It just takes someone patient enough to read it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep your eyes open out there.